Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and man, what a day of news it was today. Of course, the big one, you know what I'm talking about. Aaron Rodgers in the city of Pittsburgh this afternoon, visiting with a bunch of Steelers head coaches, taking a quick tour of the facility, looking at what could possibly be his future home for the upcoming 2025 season. In my opinion, hopefully he just looked around, saw that, oh, hey, you guys don't have a sauna? What the hell is this? You got dumbbells from the 1970s? Yeah, I'm not coming here. Hopefully that's the case. I mean, I've been very adamant. I don't want Rodgers. I'd rather stick with Mason Rudolph and possibly draft a Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe. But hey, I mean, hopefully the Steelers know what they're doing. So we are going to just jump right into it here. I'm going to break down what all happened here today. So first off, could this freaking finally be the end of this mind-controlling saga? As just past noon today, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Steelers insider Jerry Dulac, pretty tied in with the organization. Many view him as, a pretty close guy to owner Art Rooney II. He was the first to report that free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers was at the Steelers facility today, also saying that a deal could be forthcoming. His words exactly there. About half an hour later, Dulac also said that a commitment from Rodgers may not be coming today, if at all, in that he was in the Steelers facility on the South Side for 6 total hours, meeting with head coach Mike Tomlin, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and general manager Omar Khan, amongst, many, maybe a few others. Contrary to what Dulac initially said there, ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter confirmed Rodgers' visit, but said, quote, no deal at this time is close, which, that kind of perked my ears up a little bit. Why do you have a local guy in Jerry Dulac saying that a deal could possibly be forthcoming, and then a, much, looking from the outside national guy saying a deal isn't close? Kind of strange there. Another NFL insider, Diana Rossini from The Athletic, she's been very, very close to this situation, reporting a lot of stuff about Rodgers within the past few weeks. She said that she could be hearing the same thing as Dulac, posting on X that one of her sources told her it's a possibility an agreement is reached today. However, at around 3:30 this afternoon, Rossini was the first to report that Rodgers did leave the Steelers facility with no deal attached. Now, you hear that. I and a lot of other Steelers fans are, we want to celebrate inside that this was possibly the, confirmation that Rodgers won't sign with the Steelers. But we can't celebrate that just yet, because this same exact thing happened last year with Russell Wilson. Wilson went and met with the Steelers, and then about 48 hours later was a late night signing by the Steelers. Let me pull this up real quick. This was just posted on X from Warren Sharp within the past half hour. Last year, Friday, March 8th, 2024, Steelers and Russell Wilson meet for 6 hours. Sunday, March 10th, Russ signs with the Steelers. I think that was around a midnight announcement of that signing. Now this year, March 21st, Steelers and Rodgers meet for 6 hours. So now we are looking, over the weekend, everybody's going to be refreshing their Twitter feeds and X feeds, waiting to see if this deal actually is going to get done. The last national insider who had something interesting to say about Rodgers visiting the Steelers was NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. He said that this was the first visit for Rodgers, possibly hinting, I took that as him possibly hinting that, or, possibly hinting or at least leaving the idea open that Rodgers could have more visits scheduled in the not too distant future with teams like the New York Giants. They're really the only one left in the Rodgers sweepstakes, along with the Steelers, or, the Minnesota Vikings that Rodgers desperately wants to go to. And then wrapping up this whole thing, NFL insiders Tom Pelissero and Adam Schefter reported just over half an hour ago that the Steelers and Rodgers, for a few weeks now, have had contract parameters in place, and that they're meeting today, which was overall, positive and was just for them to get to know each other better and meet face to face. There was no discussions of money. Money has been reported to not be an issue whatsoever, and that was proven true today with the meeting. So I see it as Rodgers, just going in, saying hi, getting to know Tomlin and Arthur Smith and Omar Khan a little bit better. And, in all, I just really hope that they know what they're doing, because with them today, they've spent the entire day pandering to a 42-year-old prima donna quarterback with one good Achilles left. I hope that was worth missing Michigan's pro day up in Ann Arbor today, where the Steelers, most likely looking defensive tackle in the first round, well, you got two studs up there in Ann Arbor, and Mason Graham, going to be a top 10 pick. Steelers not really looking at him, but his counterpart up there, Kenneth Grant, who the Steelers should be very interested in at pick 21 if they should look at him, if he should be there. Tom Wishaw in there. Let's ride with Mason. Let the Giants sign him. I'd let the Giants sign him. And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants signed him. Rodgers, I think he has a home or apartment in New York that's, I think, 20 minutes away from MetLife Stadium, where the Jets and Giants both play. And he just had renovations and updates done to that. So, and, honestly, wouldn't it be the most Aaron Rodgers thing for him to, hey, you guys wanted to, let go of me and send me unceremoniously send me off with the Jets? Well, guess what? I'm going to still play in the same stadium, but instead of rocking green and black, I'm going to be wearing red and blue. So that'd be a very Aaron Rodgers thing to sign with the Giants, or the Jets' rival in the Giants. And also, it would be an Aaron Rodgers thing to do. I just said that everybody's going to be refreshing their social media feeds over the weekend to see if a deal actually is reached between the Steelers and Rodgers. It also wouldn't surprise me at all if Rodgers sees all the media attention that he's generated today just by being with the Steelers, if then he's then going to go on Monday to the Giants facility and, carry this thing out, because he's, as much as, he likes messing with the media and doesn't really, like interacting with them, doesn't like interacting with them, but likes messing with them. It would be such an Aaron Rodgers thing for him to visit with the Giants and just carry this thing out so much longer. So I agree. Let's ride with Mason. I mean, Rudolph, he's a guy who has started multiple occasions in multiple years for the Steelers, and he, I think, could, keep you afloat, keep you around 500, which, to be honest, what quarterback under Mike Tomlin hasn't done that? But if the Steelers take a quarterback in this year's draft, at least there's a guy in front of him in Mason who's won games for the Steelers. Everybody remembers and loves him coming back, because everybody remembers him winning those final 3 regular season games when the Steelers' playoff hopes were on life support 2 years ago. And then, of course, I mean, they got steamrolled by the Buffalo Bills, but there was so much, other circumstances other than Rudolph's play that decided the outcome of that game. So I agree. Let's ride with Mason. I've been vocal. If I think the Steelers are going to trade back in the draft, it'd be the smart thing to do, try to recoup a second-round pick that you traded away for DK Metcalf. But if I'm the Steelers, I'd consider Jackson Dart in the later stages of round 1 if you trade back. If not, we know that the Steelers, at least, from our outside view looking in, the Steelers love Jalen Milroe. They've met with him on 3 different occasions at the Senior Bowl, at the Combine, and at his pro day. So Steelers could, take Kenneth Grant from Michigan, defensive tackle, in the first round, and then pick up Milroe in round 3 or whatever. So I'd stick with Mason and put in a rookie behind him. And then, you keep Mason and you have a rookie, if you're, around 500 or possibly worse, then guess what? You still have your long-term plan in place of where you're recouping compensation draft picks for next year. You can trade up and secure your quarterback for the future early in the first round when the draft is in Pittsburgh next year. So yeah, Tom, thank you for that comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it when you guys comment on here. It gives me something more to talk about instead of just blabbering to the camera here. So appreciate that. Tom, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, 8 of you in here right now, if you're new, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss when I'm live like this. And also feel free to like, comment, and share this stream. Real quick, just going to hit on, a couple other Steelers notes. Not really much new news. Of course, I touched on the Steelers re-signing Jeremiah Moon and James Pierre yesterday. 2 special teamers and camp bodies for the most part. One new bit of news for the Steelers that came out last night were the contract details on DK Metcalf's extension. Upon signing the extension, Metcalf is getting a $30 million signing bonus, so immediately getting rewarded for choosing to come and stay with the black and gold. In 2025, he will have a cap hit of $11 million, with a guaranteed salary of $5 million. Those two in 2025, followed by a guaranteed salary of $25 million in 2026. So taking a jump there. But after that, after these next 2 years, Metcalf will have a non-guaranteed salary and roster bonuses of $26.5 million in 2027, $28 million in 2028, and $35.5 million in 2029. So in reality, I don't know what the dead money hit situation will exactly be like here in 2 years. But from my interpretation of that, the Steelers signed Metcalf to a 5-year contract, but have set it up to where they could, possibly get out of it in 2 years if they really want to, whether, things don't work out here with DK on the field, off the field, whatever that may be. So Metcalf going to get paid. Rodgers, again, in the Steelers building today for 6 hours. Met with head coach Mike Tomlin, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and general manager Omar Khan. Just scrolling through X here to see if there's any more new news. Of course, the latest on this situation from Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero. Rodgers was in the facility for 6 hours, and then he left, had positive visit and conversations with Tomlin, Smith, and Khan, and that parameters are in place for a deal. It's been that way for weeks now, and that money was not talked about during their visit today. Looking more here. Former teammate of Aaron Rodgers, Tyler Conklin, tight end, is going to the Chargers on a 1-year deal. And, as just talking about, the Steelers possibly taking a quarterback in this year's draft, lots of people thinking that Shedeur Sanders could be falling down the draft rankings right now. Well, the Jets, who, before signing Justin Fields, could have been in, I believe, on drafting a quarterback, and they could still be, but honestly would not be surprised. Tyler Conklin gone to the Chargers. I could see, living in Pennsylvania, I could see Penn State tight end Tyler Warren going to the Jets at number 7, I believe, is where they pick. Just looking more here. No real news. All right, I'm going to transition real quick to some Pittsburgh Penguins news, and then we'll come back to the Steelers. So Pens back in action tonight, 7 p.m. at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Alex Nedeljkovic gets his first start, really for the first time in a while. It's been Tristan Jarry's net as of late. So Ned in net for the Penguins opposite Danil Tarasov for the Jackets. Honestly, there's not much to talk about the game itself. I just think it's going to be beneficial if the Penguins lose. If the Pens lose, they continue to move up the draft lottery order here, currently in the 7th spot. So Pens lose, they move up, they increase their chances of drawing the first overall pick in the draft lottery. And if the Blue Jackets win, they're really a team I can get behind for multiple reasons. Of course, the big one, like I'm sure a lot of people out there, hoping that the Jackets have some sort of Cinderella season for Johnny Gaudreau, God rest his soul, and they can continue for their wild card spot, and it be an added bonus if they, get into the playoffs over the New York Rangers and New York Islanders, who I absolutely hate. But speaking of the draft lottery, Pens GM Kyle Dubas is turning his focus more towards the draft as he was recently spotted in Sweden. He's over there apparently scouting 2 top draft prospects in forwards Victor Eklund and Anton Frondell from, I'm going to butcher this, Djurgårdens IF. So whatever Swedish junior league over there, those 2 prospects are from. Dubas is over there getting his own eyes on those 2 kids. And real quick, just switching over to some Pirates news. No real news about the team itself. They play here in about 40 minutes. They take on the Red Sox in another preseason game. And also national MLB insider Ken Rosenthal, really speaking for Pittsburgh Pirates fans, slamming owner Bob Nutting. Of course, a report recently came out from DK Pittsburgh Sports that the Pirates are not generating enough revenue on their own and that they have lost money over the past handful of years and are now in debt. So Rosenthal was slamming Nutting for the team losing money while also being completely reluctant to selling the team. Just talk about sitting there with your thumb up your ass doing nothing. That's pretty much Bob Nutting. Win Nutting, spend Nutting. However, some cool news. The 1/1 Paul Skenes rookie debut patch card that had everyone, including myself, everyone going crazy looking for it, has been sold. For those of you who don't know, Paul Skenes, when he debuted in the MLB last year, had a debut patch right here on the above the cuff on his sleeve. That patch got taken off, put on a card of his. He autographed it, and an 11-year-old kid in LA, after months of this card being missing, he pulled it on Christmas Day and almost immediately put it up for auction through either Topps themselves or a third-party broker. I kept track of how that card was doing over the past 24 hours, and the hammer price was at $1.11 million this morning. And I believe it is the broker's entire earnings of this sale that, Cole is getting donated towards the Los Angeles and California wildfire relief funds. So, some of the money from that sale going to a good cause. To put this into context of just how crazy this is, not only did this card sell for more than Skenes' 2025 salary from the team, which I think right here is $875,000, but it is the 6th most expensive baseball card sale amongst MLB players in history, behind cards from Mickey Mantle, Honus Wagner, Babe Ruth, Mike Trout, and Joe Doyle. So Skenes among some of the greatest names to ever play baseball, having his debut patch card sold this morning. I knew this card was going to be worth well over $1 million, when it was eventually going to be sold, but by how much, I didn't know. But hey, now we know. Back to the comments here. Jason Winningham, that should give us more salary room for Rodgers, Pickens, or if I assume you're talking about the Steelers possibly drafting a quarterback in the first round. For people saying, what if we pay Pickens, because we gave DK the contract extension, we're not going to give Pickens it. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Pickens an extension. If George can get his act together, realize that he can benefit off of having this absolute monster on the other side of the field taking attention off of him. If he shows up on time, he's a good teammate, keeps his cool, and produces, I say pay him, because in the NFL, you need 2 wide receivers if you're going to have success. Look at the team on the other side of the state that the Steelers are trying to, be like in the Eagles. They got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Oh, you're talking about TJ, Jason. Okay. Yeah, that should give us more salary room for Rodgers, Pickens, or TJ. I'm very curious. I think a deal is going to get done with TJ, an extension. The only thing that worries me about this whole thing of TJ possibly leaving is that the Steelers are, minus the exception of Big Ben, who the Steelers gave him a lowball offer when he was clearly over the hill, and he surprisingly accepted it. The Steelers have had a tendency to push out a guy a year early rather than keep him a year late. They did it with Troy Polamalu. They did it with a bunch of those guys from the Steelers defense of old. They did it with Santonio Holmes and Hines Ward. I wonder, since the TJ extension hasn't gotten done yet, if they see his last year, in which by his standards was a down year. Of course, he had a couple of games in which he didn't even record a single stat. I wonder if they're seeing that as a sign that his play is, declining, and that they're just going to let him ride out this last year and let him walk. So it'd be interesting. My heart of hearts thinks that a deal is going to get done. I don't think he's going to get paid Myles Garrett money, but I think it's going to be somewhere between Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, the two defensive linemen who have gotten paid most recently. But hey, we'll see what happens. Chad Schrader, a common viewer of mine. Welcome back, Chad. Sup, at least Rodgers got off his rear end and did something for a change. Congrats, Rodgers. Yeah, congratulations. Instead of going out to a beach in Malibu and walking the shoreline there, he was able to walk the shoreline of the Monongahela today. So congratulations there, Rodgers, on finally doing something. Again, you're going to be refreshing your Twitter feeds all weekend long, because that's what happened last year with Russell Wilson. Went and visited the Steelers, didn't get a deal done. 2 days later, boom, deal is done. So either Rodgers signs this week, or either Rodgers signs this weekend, I believe, or he's going to visit with the Giants sometime next week and carry this thing out even longer. That's true. He had dead legs at the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like, as much of an elite player TJ is, I mean, we saw this with his brother where injury hampered his play, and he had JJ, who was kind of like how TJ is to the Steelers. JJ was that for the Houston Texans, and he had to go finish his career with the Cardinals for, I believe, 1 year or 2 years. Tom, the Giants wanted to meet Mason before he signed with the Steelers. I believe that. So I think, Mason looked at, I think for Mason, his decision came down. It's better to stick with the devil than the devil that you don't. And, he's well-liked here in Pittsburgh, well-liked by the players, well-liked by Tomlin, I think, even though Tomlin completely mismanaged him when he was here his first go around. And fans love him, players love him, good locker room guy. So no surprise that he came back to the Steelers. I'd give him a fair shot to start this year in front of a rookie quarterback instead of, you possibly sinking, I don't know, $20-30 million into Rodgers for 1 year. So see what happens with Rodgers. Taking a look here through Twitter. Of course, mentioning the Penguins, it is a Phil Kessel bobblehead night at the arena. Phil the Thrill, still loved by Penguins fans. Lines are jam-packed outside the doors of PPG Paints Arena. No surprise there. Looking here. Somebody said, what if the Steelers, maybe possibly still searching for a wide receiver 3 right now? What about the possibility of Deontay Johnson coming back? Yeah, nah, that bridge is sailed. PFT's Mike Florio thinks Aaron Rodgers was testing the Steelers Friday for leaks. The development remained tightly under wraps until Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette caught wind of it. After he reported it, others mobilized to confirm the news because it's never good enough to trust someone else's reporting, apparently. The fact that Dulac reported it means someone from the Steelers leaked it, which could have been a test by Rodgers to see whether the SS Rooney has leaks. Indeed, Rodgers has complained in the past about leaks with the Jets. Oh, that's a very interesting there from Florio. I mean, I think I saw a report where Rodgers was in the building this morning, and it wasn't until afternoon that the report came out. Like, I was just settling in to, watch Robert Morris hopefully, take down Alabama in March Madness. And then I look down at my phone. Oh, Rodgers is in Pittsburgh. He's at the Steelers building right now. That's crazy. So, I mean, yeah, you got to wonder if Rodgers is testing the Steelers. I mean, Dulac, like I said, Jerry Dulac, one of the most dialed in local insiders for the Steelers. Very tight with Art Rooney. I mean, if you want to trust, if you're going to trust two reporters on X, Jerry Dulac, he's pretty much, the reporter talking voice for owner Art Rooney II. And then if you want to go for like a bigger national guy, I believe it's Jay Glazer. He is best buds with Mike Tomlin, and I think he, he's dialed in with Tomlin, and pretty much what he says is what Tomlin is thinking. So yeah, Rodgers left the building today without a deal in place. Just wondering how, if that is legit him, continuing to mull over his options, or if they're just going to wait and something's going to get done over the weekend. I still think that deep down, Rodgers is waiting for some sort of Hail Mary buzzer beater from the Minnesota Vikings, a team that he's been, very vocal that would be at the top of his list to go to. I think he could be waiting for that, but now he's, starting to begin to, get to know his current options much better. I still think if the Vikings came in late, he wouldn't even need to go to Minneapolis to meet with them. He'd just say, where do I sign? Fax over the contract right now, and I will have it signed and back to you in 15 minutes. And, again, I just hope that the Steelers know what they're doing, because, you missed Michigan's pro day. Steelers drafted from Michigan before. It's a school that they like to take from. They took Roman Wilson, wide receiver, from there last year in the 3rd round. So hopefully it was worth missing out, taking a look at Kenneth Grant today, pandering to Rodgers. And that's one of the frustrating things about this too, is because not only are the Steelers and Giants you know, begging and pleading for Aaron Rodgers. It should be the other way around. You got a 42-year-old quarterback who's declined in just about every single part of his game on one good Achilles, and he's, known for being trouble with the media and throwing teammates under the bus. So, yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, Michigan had their pro day today. Florida State, Missouri, also two schools that should have been on the radar. Tomorrow, just looking at all the list of college pro days tomorrow: Auburn, Boston College, Iowa. Could be going to Iowa if the Steelers want to look at running back Caleb Johnson, one of the better running backs in this draft class. Miami, they're having their pro day tomorrow. Not really a standout college that the Steelers would look at. So, but yeah, no real other news. I think it's going to go quiet now for a little bit. Everybody was oh, here's some new news, actually. Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon reportedly has a pre-draft visit scheduled with the Steelers. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love that move. Ollie Gordon, a pre-draft visit with the Steelers has been scheduled. I love Ollie Gordon. He lit it up at the Senior Bowl, and I see this as a change of pace back for the Steelers. Gordon, right now in your running back room, you have Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, who I think are each, cut from the same cloth. 5'10", third down backs, receivers, receiving threats out of the backfield, can, play some special teams and kick returns and whatnot. But I love Ollie Gordon possibly, going to the Steelers in the draft, be a middle round selection for them. In fact, have a document here of, all the draft prospects by position here that I think the Steelers should be considering on taking here in April. Ollie Gordon, you got Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, like I said, around 5'10". Ollie Gordon, 6'1.5", 226, ran a 4.61 at the combine. Last year had 190 rushes for 880 yards and 13 rushing touchdowns. And he was the 2023 Doak Walker Award winner for best running back in all of college football. So I love that the Steelers are bringing him in. I was hoping to bring that, he was going to be in there. I believe that now makes 4 or 5 running backs that the Steelers have or are scheduled to have visit Pittsburgh. You have DJ Giddens from Kansas State as one of them. I think Dylan Sampson from Tennessee is on that list. And that's just top 30 pre-draft visits. They met with a bunch of people at the combine a few weeks ago. I think it was 69 players in total, I think, that have been confirmed to have spoken with one member of the Steelers organization. So I like that. Steelers hosting Ollie Gordon II for a pre-draft visit. Just some other big news around the NFL today. Of course, Aaron Rodgers taking the attention of everything. Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, could have possibly, been an option for the Steelers to add as a wide receiver 3. He's going back to where his career began with the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Conklin, tight end, signs with the Chargers. Looking more here. I can't really find anything else right now. We do have an update on what Kenneth Grant did at his pro day up in Michigan. very much in play for the Steelers to select him if he is there at 21. Ran a 5.11.40, had a 31-inch vertical and 8'9" broad jump, and did 27 reps on the bench press. If they're going by the weight at the combine, I believe that's 27 reps at 225 pounds. And that is per Jordan Reed, NFL draft and college football analyst for ESPN. So Kenneth Grant, not a bad pro day at all up there in Ann Arbor. Hope that he is a Steeler when it's all said and done on April 24th. I will be live for that. Hope you all join me then. I've started preparations for that stream. Of course, here, if you're looking out at the bottom of your screen, made a ticker for all the draft picks. I'll be popping those up as they come in. Kind of strange, actually. Every single NFL team for this draft still has their respective first-round draft pick. There has been no first-round draft pick trades as of right now. So every single team scheduled to pick in the first round. They're on the clock right now. And also been starting to put together some graphics. Sorry if this is loud in advance. Gotta, in case there's a trade on draft night, have this. Just, working on graphics like that. So gonna have the pick is in one, all that's not gonna be as flashy and authentic as ESPN, but getting excited for the draft, getting giddy for that. And with that, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me here tonight. Aaron Rodgers could be a Pittsburgh Steeler within the next 48 hours. If not, could be waiting on Rodgers news for about another week until he probably visits the New York Giants. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining me. Like always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this stream and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on notifications for so that you never miss, an upload or when I am live. Gained a new subscriber here today. We're up to 312 on the subscriber list. Hopefully going to have a big jump in that once the draft rolls around. And also come back on Monday. I will be doing mock draft Monday. Going to fire up PFF and do a mock draft, full thing. See what the Steelers could possibly do. Gonna, cross over what I think the Steelers should pick versus what I think the Steelers should actually pick. Do a mock draft that way. Probably end up trading down if there's an enticing enough offer. But thank you all for joining me. Like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I appreciate each and every one of you all. And I will see you guys back here on Monday. Thank you.